Welcome to the City of Eureka Springs Planning Commission special meeting Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. Tom, if you'll do a roll call, please, to establish quorum.
Ann Salee.
Here.
Ferguson Stewart.
Here.
Melissa Green.
Here.
Joe Hill.
Here.
Tom Buford. Here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So since this is a special meeting, so they did not have to wait for our December meeting, there will be no public comments tonight. However, I would like to acknowledge, including the last meeting, 25 people have written in concerning the construction of this. Not one person is opposed to the construction of the gravel bar addition. Of those 25 letters, 9 people have written in with concerns about noise. So that being said, can I get approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. New commercial construction review, 216 West Van Buren, submitted by David Avanzino. The request is for the construction of an enclosure to an existing deck. So we kind of have two issues on the table tonight. One is parking, and the other is noise. And David, if you'd like to come up and talk about the parking.
Actually, we have an attorney here representing us.
Okay.
I want to say thanks again for allowing us to be here. I want to say thanks to all of our supporters and followers behind us that are citizens here in Eureka Springs that enjoy our place. And if they do have anything to say, please keep it calm and nice and respectful, please.
Has everybody received a copy of the parking map?
No.
No.
Okay.
And could you state your name, please?
I'm Wade Williams. Okay. No. We'll get you a copy. But essentially what it shows is that for the hotel itself, the Wanderoo Lodge, the required parking would be 37 spots. For the gravel bar, using probably the more restrictive requirement of 50 square feet, one slot for each 50 square feet, we would be required to have 33 spots for a total of 70. The gravel bar includes outdoor areas right now, the deck specifically, which is 720 square feet.
Thank you.
And then 900 square feet of dining
David.
for a total of 1,500 square feet.
Okay.
The outdoor portion could actually be at the 80 square foot per slot level. The map that you're being provided reflects that just between the Wanderoo Lodge and Gravel Bar property, there are a total of 71 spots. So those properties by themselves have adequate parking for the proposed improvement. In addition, Ozark Mountain Zip Lines has placed in writing authorization for the Wanderoo Lodge and Gravel Bar to use the parking at the Ozark Mountain Zip Line, which adds an additional 9 spots.
Do you have a copy of that agreement?
I do.
Did Kylie not email you guys all this? Because I forwarded everything to Kylie, which you guys asked me to do last time.
No, she did not.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
bring
sorry.
it up.
Okay.
We'll bring it up to you. But based on my reading of the code, 70 spots are required. A minimum of 71 are available. And based on the agreement with Ozark Mountain Zip Lines, there's a total of 80 spots.
Oh, thank you, David.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Have there been any changes the last time we met to talk about this subject? Any difference in the construction plans or anything?
Everything remains the same for noise abatement and shelter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We need a motion to discuss.
Is there a motion to discuss this?
Yeah,
Okay. I make a motion that we discuss the application.
I'll second. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, after viewing all the plans and all the material, and given the conformance with the parking lot requirements, and also the letter in reference to the 26 complaints from the police chief.
We're just talking about the parking right now.
Oh, sorry, okay, just the parking. Well, given to the parking, then I think he's conformed to all the requirements that I think we had for parking.
I have a question on the Ozark Mountain zip lines. Zip lines are not on that property, do they?
They,
Stay on that property.
Is Ozark zip lines on the property?
They own the property in which their business sits, which is right on our corner.
Can you get the microphone? I can't hear you. Come to the microphone.
he said, yes, they do own that property.
They do?
I believe that's correct. I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
Well, Data Scout shows that it's owned by the Byrd Revocable Trust, unless it's out of date.
You have that, you have an abstract?
I'm just looking at Data Scout, I'm
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
abstract, no.
Okay.
Do you want to see this, Wade?
No, I guess, what's the relevance of the
I
ownership?
guess the relevance is, if it's a lease from somebody else, does the owner approve of the lease? The zip line saying they're approving it, but do they have the right to do it under that lease if they're leasing from somebody else?
Well, to my knowledge, I haven't had the lease provided to me, and so I haven't had an opportunity to review the lease, but we can certainly do so if you would like, and probably obtain specific written authority from the owner, assuming they retain that to themselves. But the lessee has, if they are a lessee, and I'm not certain that information is correct. But if it is, and we need to do something in that regard, we certainly can provide it.
So do we wait until after
Sir?
you want us to vote tonight, waiting on something that may happen in the future then?
No,
Well,
sir. There's adequate parking without the zip line
Okay,
property.
Okay,
No.
I'll leave that. Then going to the gravel bar, there's 4 spaces out there. Are those spaces between the gravel bar and the highway, or where are those located there?
These are the 4 spaces between our bar and the Highway 62. They are not a part of Highway 62. Last meeting, you asked us to put up no parking signs on Highway 62, which we already did.
Okay, now, are these in the park of the highway right away, or are they on y'all's property?
Our property.
Yeah. that's-
There is enough room between, with that being out in the highway?
Yes.
Okay.
And when was the deck approved?
I don't know when the deck was approved. It never came to planning.
HDC,
Well, no, HDC can't approve.
well, it was written somewhere.
Okay. Okay. Well, what we'd have to do, if this is correct, then, and the zip line owns this, we will have to give Ethan and David Avazino a variance on the parking. That's just for when they own it, because if they sell it, the next owners may not want them there. So we can do that. We can grant a variance.
I don't understand what you mean. If they have the parking,
No, if they're using Ozark
Yeah, that's extra parking.
Yeah, that we have to give that's extra?
That's extra. They have,
There's 71
Right.
without the
that's
well,
extra.
zip line.
Right.
Okay. Okay, they don't have the right.
And if we, just for the record, if we use a factor for the deck of the 80 square feet per slot,
Right.
that would reduce the requirement by about 5 slots, meaning the total required would be 65 instead of 70. We tried to err on the side of the more restrictive.
Okay.
Does anybody have any more discussion on the parking?
No?
Okay, that has been satisfied. We thank you very much.
Okay?
Okay, so to discuss the noise issue. Just like to preface this, these things come before the Planning Commission. We try to be as fair as we can to all parties. Sometimes everybody gets what they want, and sometimes they don't get anything they want, and sometimes there's a compromise. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Joe, have you got any opinion one way or the other on the noise of how we could resolve this?
Well, we had mentioned something last time that, with the doors that roll up, if there was some discussion about whether or not they'd be willing to have those doors closed if, during the times of music, at least on that back side, maybe, did we? Anyway.
Maybe I need to ask for a point of clarification. Is there an allegation that's been made that adding the roof is going to increase the noise volume?
No, we're just trying to make sure that we cover our bases because, we represent the citizens of Eureka Springs and we've had some complaints. Everybody's in agreement on the building. We're just trying to figure out a way to make sure that if this is done, it's done and everybody's happy.
Sure. And the amplified sound permit is not what we're considering today.
No.
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 The chief of police has sent a letter specifically pointing out that there have been 26 complaints, so obviously somebody doesn't like the sound, okay? They also point out that they appear to have come from 3 separate complainants. So the complaints are being made, the police are then investigating, and so far, if you read that letter, out of those 26 times, they found 0 violations, they issued 0 warnings, and 0 citations. So the amplified sound permit is being complied with fully, and the fact that someone doesn't care for the noise really is truly irrelevant to whether or not this structure should be approved, unless there's some allegation that the structure itself is going to cause the sound to be amplified more.
Well, the Planning Commission has the ability to put conditions on applications. And as an example, I will use the Cat House downtown. When they built their new deck, they got approval for the deck, but there is no amplified music. We want everybody to get what they want. We're just trying to figure out a way to do it. So, Melissa, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, when we did the Cat House, it was with a lot of public comment from the neighbors because the sound carried up. Nobody wants to take away David's music, the ability of music. but people also have a quality of life. And so to me, there's a balance. We give a little bit, we get some. My suggestion was only during amplified music that they have the doors down. Acoustic music, great. That's not going to carry. I actually, at some points in time,
Feedback?
Could,
Somebody
is that
needs-
cell phone or,
That's
Yeah.
There we go.
thank you.
at some points in time, I'm about 5 blocks away from them as the crow flies. I can hear their music. So it doesn't bother me because it's not loud 5 blocks away, but I can hear it. So, I mean, I think these people have legitimate concerns. The people that have complained, I've known these people for years. Hearthstone has been there 40 years. They were the lodging that we all looked up to and tried to copy. These people aren't complainers. They're miserable. And I know David and Ethan are a wonderful addition to our town. I highly support them as I do our neighbors. So I want to find a solution so we can walk out of here. Maybe we're not totally happy, each of us, but I think each of us need to give a little bit.
Tom?
With the construction, with the transparent roof and the garage doors that open up and down, I agree with Melissa, if you have amplified sound, even with the doors down and the transparent roof, it's not going to be that soundproof. I think that we did with the cat house, I think that was somewhat of a good compromise. It's unfortunate that Eureka, being what it is with buildings, close together, and mixed use close together, that we have this problem. It's Hearthstone has been there a long time, long before the Wanderloo was renovated and the gravel bar put in. So you have, like I say, a problem trying to balance concerns of the different neighbors and property owners, which is the problem.
Fergie?
Well, my situation here, it seems like we got a dispute between neighbors. And I've always been one to let the neighbors work out their disputes themselves. And right now, this owner, in my understanding from his testimony here last time, and has done all he can do, and the complainants just won't negotiate with him or talk to him. My concern is that, this business is doing well compared to what it was at that location years ago. That was a flop area. There was drug dealings going on. There was terrible things going on there. Now we've got a legitimate business in place. We've got a good propriety going on there. We've got a good business established, and things are going to have to change. And I hear the complaints, but at the same time, I see the reports as far as the conformance and the ability of the owner buying his own meter. I just don't see the complainant giving toward something. So it can't be just one-sided. So my thing is right now, it seems like the owner's doing everything he can, but the complainants are doing everything without talking to him, and that's what I see right now. It's kind of.
Well, like I said, there's always a compromise. I'll approve this on one condition, and that is the condition until it's built, there is no amplified music, and at such time it is done within a 30-day period, we will get with Bobby Ray, we'll get with the noise ordinance people and get them out there and see if it resolves the problem. If not, we reserve the right to come back in and talk negotiations.
So are you revoking the amplified sound permit?
I'm saying the condition I will approve this is if they stop amplified music until it's being built.
And
Been
in
built.
your authority set out in the code, where does it authorize that sort of condition?
I think it's a reasonable consideration.
If you'll indulge me just for a minute,
I'm not in a court of law.
I've been doing this for quite a while.
I know, but we're not in a court of law.
I know
It's
that.
up to the planning commission to make the decision,
Yes, ma'am, it is.
okay? And then once we make the decision, if you don't like it, you have the right to go to court, you have the right to go to city council.
Yes, we do.
Okay, I don't want to sit and get booze based on you don't like what I'm
Well,
saying.
I-
That's very inappropriate and disrespectful.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have not booed.
No,
I
you have
not
not,
clapped.
but the audience has.
Okay? I can't control what other individuals do.
No, you cannot.
I've been doing this for a while, and if you'll indulge me for just a second, I'll tell you a little story about another planning commission that I was in front of one time with regard to a mobile home park. And they had things that they wanted to see. And we kept coming back saying, we've fully complied with every element of your city code. And finally, the chairman looked at me and said, we don't like our ordinance. We really wish you would comply with what Springdale has. Well, we weren't in Springdale, so that wasn't the obligation of the applicant. And you're right. You can place a condition on there, and I can go to city council, and city council may or may not uphold your decision.
I know.
But what I can tell you is that a court won't. Because when you go to court and you've applied reason that is not within your scope of duty, they're going to overturn you. And so all you've done, effectively, is delay something from happening. Created animosity in the community, and really prevented something from moving forward that ultimately will move forward. If the application is in compliance with the code, then it's your duty as planning commissioners to approve it.
I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying he can't have it, he can't use the deck. But I think that there's a balance, and part of it is being courteous to neighbors. And it just seems like this is no give on his part whatsoever.
After 26 investigations by the police, there has not been a single violation found, not a single warning given. So the amplified sound permit is being complied with fully. That doesn't mean that neighbors like it. But the amplified sound permit is being complied with, and as long as it's being complied with, there is no basis, one, for revoking it, because this commission doesn't have that authority, and two, for denying this application based on something that is irrelevant to the application. They're wanting to put a roof on a deck. Even if it doesn't do anything to the sound, it's certainly not going to amplify it, and nobody's alleging that.
Melissa?
Wade, in, I think it was 2006, Chelsea's had a huge problem, noise. Chelsea's put up a wall, they put up, I think, a soundproof membrane. You can still kind of hear the music. What I don't want to stop the music. Nobody wants to stop the music. There's neighbors that are miserable from it. I'm sorry, they're miserable. It's hurt their business. They've had guests. There's 3 bed and breakfasts up there that their guests have complained. And so we have to think about them. I mean, there is a balance. And my thought was maybe keeping the doors down and the roof isn't going to change anything. But David made the compromise. He was willing to compromise when he has, this guy went over my head, amplified music. So I think there's a compromise. David, how much of your music is amplified?
All of it.
Oh.
But let me
Do you have, I thought you had acoustic music there.
I have had acoustic music.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, 3 times, and all 3 times, those neighbors still complained on acoustic music with 0 amplified sound.
Okay.
One was a saxophone, one was a guitar player, an acoustic guitar player, and the other one was just a singer. So right now, it borders on harassment from our neighbors, especially with this proof that just came from the police chief.
I don't consider complaints harassment, David. They're genuinely hush.
Okay, but Melissa,
I have the floor, hush. They're miserable, just like I would never do this to you either. I mean, we're trying to come up with a solution. Okay, you tell me, what could you come up with a compromise?
you know, like Wade said, I've done everything in my power within the law to do what I'm allowed to do according to city ordinance.
I
I
agree.
take my police grade decibel reader. The police chief has been with me when this has been done. One of the sergeants has been with me when this has been done. We walk to those property lines, and the noise is below 55.
I thought it was 65.
That's the legal limit I can go to
Okay.
from the point of complaint.
Okay.
But when we get a complaint and the police show up, which interrupts my customers, makes my hotel guests uneasy and unnerved, then we take our decibel readers together, we go over at the property line, and it's never above 60, ever, a single
Well-
time in a whole year.
Well, Brian has always said it's been 65 or below with his people.
Which is still within the
Yeah,
law.
it is, but he's always said it was 65 or below.
Yeah. I mean, any one of you are more than welcome to come out when we
Oh,
have live
I-
music.
I do,
And
I
I
have.
will walk you to that property line. We will show you the decibel readers
Okay.
from the front and the back of the property, and you'll see for yourself. I mean, I've done
So-
everything I can. I've made every single compromise. I've tried to meet with these
What-
neighbors,
what-
and no one wants to meet with me. One door was slammed in my face
Where was that?
at Touchstone, or Heartstone, whatever it's called.
No,
It's very true, and it was Sherry that did it.
well, I don't feel like you're doing a compromise. You're still doing the same thing. Are you,
But Melissa, I'm doing the same thing that's allowed by law.
yeah, you're not breaking a law, I will agree. But we also, as a planning commission, have the right, if we feel like it's harmful to the citizens, to put conditions on it. And I'm trying, David, to come up with something that's going to at least show that, or try to make some of this go away.
Well,
Is
and I
there-
understand that, and I appreciate it, I do. And we're a small community, and it pays for everybody to try and get along. If a person thinks that 65 decibels is too loud, and that sound of 64, which would be in compliance,
Sure.
is too loud, then they can try to have the city change the ordinance.
Yeah, and I'd hate to do that, Wade.
The alternative, if this petition gets denied, is that it continues as it is.
Right.
Okay, so when you say compromise, you're basically saying, change what you're doing or we won't let you improve your property.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's got doors on it. The doors come up and down. My solution, and I didn't realize David doesn't have any acoustic, was that when he had amplified music, the doors were down. That's it. No, I'm all for the structure. There's nothing about this structure that I'm not against.
Even the individuals who have complained about the noise were specific in their writing to y'all, stating that they had no objection to the structure being
Right,
added.
and they don't.
So we're spending a lot of time
They,
on an issue that nobody actually objects to.
Wade, they asked that it be enclosed. All those letters, they asked that the building be enclosed. So they're not against the building, they just want it enclosed. That's their right to ask.
So, if,
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
If I may make one statement along the lines of compromise. All we are asking is for the structure to be approved so that we can build it. If we build it and the noise doesn't decrease for our neighbors, then we will improve upon it and add sound dampening material, add things that will reduce the outside noise. I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I want to go as far as I can to make neighbors happy, but we're not going to be able to make them all happy all the time.
No, and
Some of my customers are not happy all the time. I get it.
Yeah.
It's part of being business. It's part of, unfortunately, being right next to a residential area as well.
So the tent you have now is enclosed, correct?
That
I
is
mean, it's not soundproof, but it's enclosed.
correct.
Okay. So if you're allowed to continue with amplified music, when it's built, when amplified music is being played, would you close the doors?
Not unless it exceeds 65 at the point of complaint.
So you're not even willing to compromise about that? I mean, you can have the doors open during the day when people are eating.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have the doors closed if you've got a snowstorm or it's raining. And maybe not all the doors closed, but at least the ones that pound the music out across the hollows?
David, where this building is going to be, and it's going to be garage doors all the way around, and all of them can come up, correct?
Three
Three
sides,
sides.
correct.
3 sides. So what would you say would be like the sides that might contain the noise, might send it somewhere else?
Well, you're saying that the side towards the lodge?
Hello, everyone. Ethan Avanzino, other co-owner of Wanderoo Lodge and Gravel Bar. So with the current plan for the structure, there will be 3 sides that would have the roll-up garage doors. I think a fair compromise would be if we were to close the windows that are facing the lodge buildings. The complaining neighbors are on the other side of the lodge buildings, so that the open sides would be not facing the neighbors that have been complaining about sound.
Okay, that's
So are these all the windows that you have? I mean, can you tell me south, north, which direction we're talking here?
Oh.
I know, I don't either.
I wouldn't even know where that is.
It would be
West, right?
It would be the longest set of windows you see on your plans in front of you,
Yes.
Okay,
West side.
that actually face the hotel.
okay.
Yeah, I think this one. West.
So Ethan, right here, David,
Elevation.
is where the restaurant is,
Right.
correct? And then this is like, right here is the motels.
Yes.
And then this is where it goes over this way. So what you're saying is like you have this one closed here, and maybe this one here, and then the back would be,
I'm
Open.
saying the windows that run parallel to the lodge buildings, we
okay,
could agree to close those when live music, when amplified sound is being
okay,
performed, and keep
Okay.
the sides open. I think it's really important in this day and age, when we are still dealing with a pandemic, to have open airflow. We have compromised individuals who have been shut
Sure.
in for months, and for them to be able to enjoy live music is very important. And so closing the garage doors when we're having live music would prevent these people from being able to
right,
come out and join us.
okay.
So the windows that would be closed would be the ones parallel to the lodge building?
Correct.
Okay,
And those are both,
okay.
there's said one on each side, and they're both parallel?
No, not perpendicular.
May I approach? I can show you on the...
Sure.
Sure, come on.
Here's my thing here.
This one's probably the best.
Yeah, which one is it here?
So this being...
I think this is north, and that's west.
Okay, Westbrook, yeah, so here's our hotel, our
That's
gravel
the-
bar.
That's a gravel bar.
And in these buildings here that you really can't see because they're covered with green are our hotel buildings, 2 stories each. So they already provide a barrier to the neighbor.
Okay.
We can close this window here, which would help even dampen that noise more.
Okay.
This here faces, nothing. I mean,
Right,
we own
yeah,
this
it's
property
here.
here.
Yeah,
But I'm just talking on the deck.
yeah, this is the deck right here. This is the
Oh,
deck.
that's,
This is
oh,
the
okay.
deck.
Yeah,
So it'd be this one right here. This is the deck.
Yeah.
Deck is
So
actually
you're
part of
exactly
this.
right. It would be this window right here. It would further help to dampen noise that goes there.
That's parallel, that's what we talked about.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Do I need to?
No, we're good. I think so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Any more discussion?
Does anybody have any?
Yeah, I do. David, Ethan,
Yes.
if there's still a problem, are you willing to sit down with your neighbors?
Absolutely, yeah. I wanted to add one quick thing.
Sure, please.
We had reached out to Kylie, because in the process of discussing this roof, we had realized that we were going to need to change the roof material a bit. Having a clear roof with the pollen that we get in the spring would end up just being a yellow roof. So we were looking at putting a metal roof with some sun,
Reflectors?
not reflectors, I'm sorry.
Skylights?
Skylights,
Thank
okay.
you so much. And so we reached out to Kylie to say, like, how does this work if we need to go in front of HTC? Do we need to come back in front of planning? And she said that it would just be, we'd have to go in front of the HTC to submit a request for an alteration, and it wouldn't need to be a huge thing. But with that, we do plan on adding the sound dampening in the roof that's not going to be on the clear space, where the light will be able to come in. So with the additional sound deadening added to the roof, I think that will significantly improve the sound issue. So I'd like to also suggest that that is a compromise that we're willing to do.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any more questions or comments about this? Does anybody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this application for the covered porch application with the, what's the word?
Condition.
Condition that was placed on the parallel side of the enclosure.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
I guess that concludes our business. Are we excused?
Yes.
Happy
You're excused.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Now I know why they didn't have parking.
Yeah.